I'm here to tell you about why I had my abortion, why it's okay for me, and why it shouldn't give anyone any right to make me or you or anyone feel uncomfortable or any type of way for making a decision such as that. I think some people think abortion is easy, like you get pregnant and just suck it out, or pop a pill and expel it, and you go back to normal life. For some people, maybe it is, and that's okay. Not everyone wants kids. But for other people, it's a very hard and emotional experience. And you can still believe in God. You can still have a heart. You are not a bad person for your abortion. And I want people to know that because it's so important that through this emotional experience, you have support and hear from other people their stories, and maybe have peace of mind knowing you're not alone. So here's my story. First things first, before I get into how I became pregnant and why I ended up having an abortion, I'll tell you about myself. I'm 22 years old. I've never been married, and I have no children. I'm a godmother. I'm a girlfriend. My 26-year-old boyfriend of 2 years has a child from a previous marriage. His daughter is 3 years old, and her mother has always been very bitter towards me, whether it be she doesn't want to see him happy or her own personal reasons. But I'm very good to her daughter. I never go too far or cross any lines being a stepmother, and I don't do anything to put her daughter in any type of danger. But she still resents me. I live on my own. I'm a dental assistant at a Catholic dental office, and I bartend on weekends, angel by day, devil by night. I made a lot of money, and I spent it on my hair, my makeup, my clothing, and drinking with friends, going to concerts, living it up with the tiny bit of free time that I had, and in the meantime, killing it as a nursing student. Life was good. My boyfriend and I had just taken the next step and moved in with each other. We were sexually active, but I never took birth control because my OBGYN told me I couldn't get pregnant. We used the pull-out method and thought everything was going to be cool. And then, boom, just like that, after 2 years of unprotected sex, I was pregnant. I stared at the pregnancy test in the bathroom stall of the bar I worked at in disbelief. It didn't feel real. It made me feel like the test I took was old and defective because it was something that was never supposed to be possible. I was afraid to tell my pro-life boyfriend, who already had a child and who desperately wanted a son, because I knew I was not ready. I wanted to finish school. I wanted to live my life. But it made me feel sick to my stomach thinking of the tiny, innocent life forming inside of me and how it was my first child. I'm the firstborn in my family. It made me think a lot. But surprisingly enough, my boyfriend loved and respected me enough to consider my option of abortion if I were to keep it if I ever got pregnant again. So after a lot of time thinking, we decided that this was best. After all, I wasn't married. I worked at a Catholic dental office and felt like I would be judged for my premarital sins. And honestly, who wants to tip a pregnant bartender? My nursing career was important too. I've seen so many of my friends keep their children and struggle. And if by small chance my boyfriend and I didn't make it, I wouldn't want to put him in another situation like this. It was the best decision for us. But I started second-guessing myself a lot. When I got my first ultrasound, saw the heartbeat, saw my tiny little baby that wasn't even a baby yet. I had been pregnant for 7 weeks and 6 days, 7 weeks and 6 days of heavy drinking, and a Las Vegas trip smooshed in there too. My baby could have any type of mild or severe fetal alcohol syndrome. I researched it. I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I kept it and something was wrong. It just wasn't the right time. I did a lot of crying and blaming my boyfriend, blaming him for not fighting to keep it or for getting me pregnant. I didn't want a baby, but I didn't want to abort my baby either. I slowly came to realize this was my worst nightmare. Me being pro-choice, I always thought an abortion would be a simple thing to do, but I was so wrong. It was probably the most difficult and heartbreaking decision of my life. I took the pill abortion at 8.5 weeks pregnant and was in the worst pain in my entire life for 4 hours. And then laid there bleeding, realizing that the baby that gave me nausea, cramps, and stupid cravings was gone. And I would never know if it was a boy or a girl if it had my eyes or its father's. Previous to this, my boyfriend and I wrote goodbye letters, telling our baby we loved it and why we did what we did. I kept the tests, the ultrasounds, and the letters in an envelope. I still have it. About a month and a half later, I stopped being so depressed about it. I laid on my couch doing nothing for weeks, and even though I knew it was the right choice, nothing felt right. I wasn't happy. Abortion was not ideal for me, but being pregnant wasn't either. And I would have used proper protection if I thought there was even a small chance that I could get pregnant. And after I healed for the most part, and I say for the most part because a part of me will never be the same, I won't forget what happened. And neither will my boyfriend. It bothers him too, just like it bothers me. His daughter could have had a sibling. He could have had a son. So many possibilities gone. His ex found out about my abortion and decided to give me a piece of her mind. She told me that I was selfish and knew nothing about sacrifice. She told me that I robbed my boyfriend's child of life, and how could I be trusted to be a mother when I so easily could kill my own child? She kept going, making me feel lower and lower about what I had done. My boyfriend was furious, but I told him not to say anything to her. I didn't want her to know I was bothered, because although I felt bad enough about my decision, I knew that just because I had gotten an abortion, it didn't make me any less of a stepmother or a godmother. It didn't make me selfish, and it didn't mean that I knew nothing about sacrifice. Just because you decide not to be a mother doesn't make you any less of a good human being. I work hard at my job, with school, and life in general. I love hard. I love my family, my boyfriend, his daughter, and our new puppy we just bought together. And life will move on. I will be an amazing mother one day when the time is right. I would love people to know my story with my name on it, but there are so many judgmental people in this world and my life, so I won't. But you guys can know, so read up. Know you're not alone, and your decision does not make you a bad person. You are strong and can get through anything. Anonymous.